Hey, what's going on, everybody? Judd here with Asphalt Kingdom, and I am super stoked to be here with Mr. Andre Jackson, Alphajak, and I am so excited, man. I've been watching you and following you, and you reached out through Facebook, and you kind of gave me an update there, and it was one of the most heartwarming updates that I kind of got, and truly, that's what fuels our whole company. Really is the passion in what we do and the purpose. And so, man, I'd love to dig in, ask you some questions. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And, like I said in the message, I want to let you know every chance and every opportunity that I get that you definitely was and are the catalyst to the paradigm shift that changed the trajectory of my life. So what I mean by that is, yes, I knew how to do the service, Yes, I knew a little bit about seal coating, but having you on their screen saying, hey, you can do this. You can rock this. Don't be afraid. Go out there. You know what? Here's an example. What's your law of averages? Join this round table. Here's a community. And it's helped me tremendously.
Brother, that is exactly why it was heartwarming for me when you reached out. And I'll tell you, the amount of gratitude and appreciation I have goes to a level that I can't really describe right here, right now. The only way I can describe it is by continuing to do it with more and more people. That's kind of my purpose. It's not kind of my purpose. Let me rephrase that. That is my purpose. And so you are here and you're living proof and right here of somebody who has gone out and crushed it. And I'm just so grateful that you've taken the time to do this. It's interesting. I've started studying quantum physics lately, which is something pretty wild. Once you start learning about what it is, man. And I read this or listened to this audiobook, and it was called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. And it's not about money, kind of is, but it's more about vibrations and ripples and energy and connecting with like-minded people and building a culture that is one of not average, but one of where we get out into this place of almost feeling as though we're not scared anymore of going for it. There's a lesser level of fear, but instead more of this drive to do better and to help more people. And so I'd love to hear a little bit about your journey, man. I know the audience here would love to hear about you. Can you kind of bring us back to prior to asphalt maintenance and kind of the time range we're speaking about, the date range?
Well, yeah, kind of a little background. So I fell into seal coating 2014. A buddy of mine was doing it, joined up. I had no interest in it. One day he didn't show up to work. He kind of got a new job without telling me. So then it was like, hey, you got to do this. So I went through and did everything wrong. I'm talking everything wrong. I was so ignorant when I very first began. I'm talking touching hot torches and burning myself. It's just the whole nine. But eventually I got better. And then had an opportunity. The company, we ended up going union. So I went from just seal coating to now I'm a full operating engineer. And did that for a while. We traveled, did all of the Walmarts and Sam's Clubs in America, only for me to come back home, scrolling on Instagram, YouTube, and I see this guy on the screen saying, hey, you can start your own business. You can do this. And I thought about it, didn't really have the confidence, didn't think I knew enough. And then you gave that free consultation. So we fast forward and now to 2020, you gave me that free consultation and you pretty much gave me the confidence, the green light to go like, hey, buddy, it seems like you're just asking for a little bit of, confirmation more than advice on how to go about things. And once I did that, I got the EIN, I went through those steps to make myself legal. That first month I made $700. I was ecstatic. That next month I made $25K and then my whole life just changed.
Wow, man. Okay, so this is going back that first day of $700. What year was that?
That was 2020. Yep, August of 2020.
2020, August of 2020. So you were kind of coming into the tail end of the season.
Yep.
And yeah.
I was actually pouring concrete for the city, and once I started, I figured I'd just work 2 jobs, and this would be a hobby for me. I can make some some decent money, but
yeah,
it didn't make sense after that first month to wait 2 weeks for $1,000 check when I can make $5,000 in 2 days.
Dude, I'm smiling from ear to ear right now. My cheeks are hurting, because what I find incredible is that this is happening more and more. Is that when people actually make the decision and they commit to just doing it. And when I say doing it, I'm not talking like half-assed. Like I'm talking about I'm going for this thing. And you have that discipline and that determination to really, really, really go and change your life and to do something extraordinary. When you decide that you're going to do it, it's time. And like for people watching this right now, I know that there's people that like somebody, I know you, or maybe not you, but you probably, and I'm not talking about you, Andre, I'm talking about the viewer, probably sitting there going, should I? And so I want to hear your advice, Andre, of when you were straight up, like no bullshit, straight up, like when you were in that spot where you made the decision to do it, like what was that like for you once you went from maybe to like, I'm doing this? What was that like for you?
It was the most scariest thing I've ever done. It wasn't so much doing the service. It was, man, I don't know what I don't know. I'm not sure if I have all the tools and resources. I've never done this before. But then it got to the point where I kept listening to you and, doing my own research and into quantum physics and understand that the universe works for us. What's your vibration? What's the frequency? What's the intensity? You put the right frequency out there with the right intensity, doors open up for you. And it's still to this day, I practice that faith every day. I was talking to a panel earlier today, and it was like, Andre, what's the biggest sacrifice you made, doing this so far? And I was like, to be honest, I sacrificed myself yesterday to be a better person today. So every day you got to realize you're making these sacrifices, and no, it's never going to be clear, but you can drive from one end of the country to the next end of the country with fog. As long as you can see 2 feet in front of you, keep pushing. So it just got to a point where I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to go through life knowing that I didn't give my all at something that I truly wanted.
Wow. Man, I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting to go deep into this kind of stuff today. But this is, it's interesting. These conversations are also more frequent when you surround yourself with people that are tapped into these frequencies. And when the purity of intent is there to actually have what it is that you truly desire, it just starts to unfold for you. And so to me, sitting here talking about, because I know about quantum physics, and I know that you're speaking about vibrations and ripples and energy and law of attraction and all this stuff. I mean, like-minded energy, like energy is attracted. So here we are within each other's vibrations and ripples, now sharing with other people, changing your day as the viewer right now, because you're now in our ripples and our energy. And now you basically feel unstoppable while you're watching this, because that's just the way that it works. And so, Andre, I want to express an enormous amount of gratitude for sharing that, because that just goes to reassure that what we're talking about is real. Thank you. That is brilliant. So yes, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I like to tell people, I think that entrepreneurship is really, truly the spiritual realm, because you have to rely on faith and faith alone. Yes, you put out the energy, but if you don't work for what you putting out there, it's not going to come for you. It's not going to come to you, So you want to make sure that you really really truly do all that you can. So all that you can do is all that you can do. Just make sure that it's all that you can do, you know?
I love that. But there was a video, I forget who said that. There's a video that I watched.
I want to say Jim Rohn.
Jim Rohn.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And
amazing. All you can do is all you can do. All you can do is all you can do. And, you know, it's interesting because I've heard people say, all you can do is all you can do, like an excuse. But then I've heard the other side of it, which is all you can do is all you can do. And that comes off completely different, right? And so it's not about just, oh, I tried my best or whatever it is. It's,
I really do all I can do here.
It's awesome. So tell us, okay, this season, 2022, mm-hmm. you entered into 2022 with a bang.
Yes, I did.
And so let's do this. Let's rewind to the end of 2021, kind of as you're rolling through your season. Tell us about what it was like to finish 2021 and then the winter going into 2022 this year.
So the end of 2021, it was, I want to say, so let me rewind back to 2020. So this is my second year in business, going on 3, but third season. So I cashed the last end of the 2020, flowing into 2021. And, you know, it was really sweet because I didn't have to do, it was one of those things where I didn't have to do so much marketing. It was word of mouth. I'd get on a project, a friend of a friend would tell somebody, I'm getting referrals, you know, so I was able to stay pretty busy. But rolling into 2021, it goes back into not knowing what you don't know, knowing when other companies budget in physical years end. Most of the time in this business, it's around July when they want to make, you know, the changes and budgets for projects next year, the following year. I didn't know that. So I went into the winter. I had enough money saved where it's like, okay, I'm going to go hard. I'm going to work hard on my business 24/7. I don't want to put any energy anywhere else. But not knowing what I don't know, I didn't put my energy into the marketing part. I didn't account for UIs and employees and inflation and the price of seal coating rising 3 times. And not only that, I was locked into several contracts based off of previous price. So rolling into this year, it's been more of, like I was telling you before we went live, growing inside of pretty much the blueprint. So you might know that, hey, you go knock on one door and you might not land a job. So your law average might be 1 job for every 10 doors that you knock on. But it doesn't stop the disappointment. It doesn't prepare you for the emotional feelings. Like, we can tell you all day, like, hey, it's going to be hard times. There's going to be tough times. You need to persevere and push through it. But it does not change the fact that you're going to go through those hard times and feel every emotion, you know, and those turbulence. But it's up to you to find that positive and to grow through it. And moving into this season, that's been my biggest thing, just really growing inside of this blueprint and making sure that we're different in our processes, but not for the sake of being different, but only because we are different.
Man, that is unbelievably awesome. And so what you're able to do now is you're able to reflect on the adversity and challenges that you have faced, but also that you've persevered from. And you are now in a situation where you're more confident, I'm sure, than what you were prior to. Before, you were just, there was some lack of experience of what it is that you were about to go through, because you didn't know you were about to go through it. Times changed, just kind of like, you know, when COVID hit and when shortages came and price hikes, and these were not expected to happen so rapidly. And so you come out of the other side now because you didn't give up. You didn't like curl up in a fetal position and cry for 25 days straight and say, I'm throwing in the towel.
No, but I did take a Saturday here and there to do that.
100%. And you need to, in order to feel the depth of what it is that we go through as entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. But now you're sitting here having this conversation tapped into vibrations that you know are going to yield tremendous results for you in your future. And you've got that experience that you've gone through. So you may do things that are differently now than you would have done last winter.
Right. Definitely.
And so you might be a little bit more cautious on the way that you will give out estimates and proposals and the timelines in which you'll honor them and / service them.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you definitely don't want to make, so I tell my guys, like, for an example, you don't want to make time commitments, because with breakdown, with everything in between to the start and finish of a project, there's so much that happens in between. You don't want to give them, hey, we'll be there at 5:30, because you just never know. Just let them know that we're going to be there that day, and to be clear and have everything. You want to make sure that you are so, you won't know until you know. So you go through things, you discard the things that didn't work, you keep the things that did, and then you want to grow and build from there. And that's where I'm at now. It's been adding on employees, but then not only adding employees, are they in the right seats? And then in these seats, what responsibilities do you want? It's a lot, but I'm able to, like, slow it down. I felt like a professional with no experience.
Yeah.
Because I knew how to do the work, which is the easiest part of all of this.
Right.
But now that I have a little bit of experience, I can kind of reflect back on those past experiences to, make better decisions.
So just to touch base here, like when you're speaking about the kind of sized projects that you're doing, we're not speaking about like a 600 square foot driveway here.
No, I've been blessed. So the smallest property I did this year was a 20,000 square footer. That's the smallest. I wish I could tell you, like, hey guys, this is what I did. I kind of just took the Wolf of Wall Street idea and started at the top of the list versus working my way up.
Oh man! So, like, to give us an idea, like, on the square footage that you've laid, do you mind sharing maybe like like how many square feet do you think you've put down this season from, like, March or April until August? I mean, 5 months. What's that? April, May, June, July, August. 5 months.
No, we are definitely pushing 1 million square feet here.
That's wild, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. I couldn't have manifested all of this. It's like, man, I listened to the videos, I listened to the round tables, and I get that confidence, and I go out there, and then when it seems like nothing's going to work out, bam, you'll land a job. Like, you want to know what your law of averages are. If you land 2 jobs out of every 100, and you need to land 100 jobs, that means you need to go out there and do 1,000, 10,000, to get the number that you want to go through or get to.
That's such an important point. A lot of people that I end up coaching and speaking with is, a lot of people say, well, I want to achieve this revenue number. And I'm like, well, that's fancy. Revenue's all great and all. It's a feel good thing. But, what do you want to truly walk away with from a cash perspective? What is it that you want to walk away with? And also, which is even more important, how do you want to walk away? And when I say walk away, reflect on the way that your life is right now. Are you happy? Because you got to find that balance, right? You got to find the balance between revenue, cash, and happiness. It's kind of all over, right? And you've got people involved with all this stuff too that ties into the money and the happiness. Your team. You're not out there doing this stuff alone. You've got a team, right?
Right.
And so when you're out there with the team needs to be happy financially. They need to be happy with their life. There needs to be the balance for them. And you're kind of the guy that provides that kind of opportunity, and then you have to teach them and help them be tapped into the vibrations, because when the ones that come in with the vibrations that are wrong or ripples, they kind of cross over and create this chaotic kind of an energy that's not all that great all the time. The cool thing is that as a great leader in a business, what we do is we continue, just like kind of Thor, the way he hits the hammer on the ground with the energy, is that it's an inviting energy. You know, we're not going out and battling. We're going out to, well, we kind of are. We're battling for positivity and for freedom and success. And that, to me, is, as leaders, we have to do that. I mean, it's a good reason why I think we're both on this screen, and the person watching right now, you have that responsibility to share this, and we have the responsibility to share this. But man, I got to tell you, Andre, when I listen to you and where the stuff you're speaking about, and now where you are now, I don't see any other alternative but an incredible 2023 that's going to be coming for you.
Oh man, we are gearing up. We're working for it. We got some great opportunities coming up, man. A minor league baseball stadium. So we're going to be doing, hopefully, if the contract and wording's right, we'll be doing the South Bend Cubs.
Wow.
Stadium. Yeah, that's really exciting. And did a couple bids on a few apartment complexes today. It is gearing up. And then not only that, being in my third year, I was able to apply for a MBE certification. So that'll be coming in the next 20, which is only going to bring more opportunity. So,
wow.
Yeah,
Brother, this is so incredible. And in 3 years to think, I mean, that's phenomenal. What would be the best piece of advice? And I know I'm pulling out of the woodwork here, but I'm pulling it out for good reason. What would be your best advice to somebody that's in a position right now where they're not in their sweet spot, not necessarily in their happy spot, and looking for something? And I'm not talking about starting an asphalt maintenance business. I'm talking about somebody right now is working for somebody else, making a dangerous living because it just gives them enough to just make it by and pay some debt, and looking for something more. What would be your best piece of advice to somebody in those shoes?
Well, one, you definitely want to read. And I guess it kind of goes hand in hand. You want to work harder on yourself than you do anybody else. You want to work harder on yourself harder than you work on your business. You want to work harder on yourself more than you do on your kids. Because I feel like the more you know yourself, the better you will have an understanding of who you are and the potential we as human beings, the power that we have. You know, you learn something about yourself, then you learn that, hey, maybe I can do this, or hey, I didn't think that I could do this before, but because I have studied and learned that these things trigger my emotions, I know how to avoid these things or better handle those things. And then stuff like that, like the job, the business, your dreams and aspirations, those things will start to come in place. But my best advice, and it's a continuous thing because I work on it every day, you really want to work on yourself more than you do anything else. That's the best advice I can give.
It is. I 100% endorse that message. Like that right there. I'm doing a 75 hard program right now. And it's like 2 45-minute workouts a day, 2 big, huge, I have to drink a gallon of water a day. I got to read 10 pages in a book today, like not an audio book. I listen to those all the time too. Mm-hmm. But you read 10 pages of a book. I need to, no cheat meals, no alcohol, proper big 3 meals a day. And I'm going through this not because I have to, but because I have to.
Yeah. And, I say this because I mention that because, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, hey, man, everything is all gravy. I'm already small, I've lost 10 to 15 pounds this year because I wasn't taking care of myself and not eating, and went a little gray, and I'm only 30. That's from stressing and not taking care of myself, going back to, like I said, working on yourself first before you do anything else. Because if you're not 100% healthy, like emotionally, mentally, trying to help and change everybody else's lives around you, because that's what we do as leaders. We're here to solve big problems and help people. But if you cannot take care of yourself, get that plank out of your eye, then you're gonna struggle. And I've been able to have people around me being able to reach out to you a couple of times on a few occasions, and stay on track.
Yes, sir. I'll say that all business owners will struggle with this because being a business owner is a lot of external, there's a lot of output, right? And that output, if you think about our soul and our energy as a battery, like a real life battery, way beyond any solar system, way beyond a car battery. Like, I'm talking about life, the energy of life in this dense mass right here, right? And our battery is often exerting this energy that is going out to your teams. It's going out to vendors. It's going out to your family. It's going out to things that you do and touch and eat and taste and touch. But it's so important to recharge your soul, your life, with things that allow you to feel wholesome and self-love and nourished, so that you can be the best version of yourself, so that you can provide to everything else in the universe the best you that you possibly can. And so I agree. What do they say on airplanes when this flight attendant, what does she say right at the beginning about the mask?
Save yourself, put your mask on first before you help the next.
Right? And that right there is so the truth. So, for all of you out there, I couldn't agree more, man. Andre, take care of yourself and love yourself, nourish yourself, and charge yourself so that you can go out there and do the better you. I love that. Definitely. Cool, man. Well, listen, I appreciate your time so much. Do you have any questions, anything that you'd like to say as kind of final words to somebody watching right now?
Well, no, for anybody out there who is thinking about starting a business, it doesn't have to be seal coating. You want to reach out to people who's already doing something that you're doing. I'm so blessed that I was able to reach out to Judd, and the response time was just, and not only that, make yourself open too for other people. You learn a lot more about yourself and about what you're doing when you teach somebody else. So we don't want to go through these experiences and not tell our testimony. I think everybody has a story to tell, and I think you should share it, and it's only going to make you better.
I love that, man. You're such a superstar. Andre Jackson, Alphajaks, the one and only Alphajaks. I love it. And right out of Indiana, which is awesome. And you've got big things, big plans. Where can people find you online to follow you, man?
Yeah, you can follow us everywhere. Alphajak, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. That's my favorite. Yeah, and just we got a lot of things coming up. Most of our social media posts are more about the branding, getting to know us as a company and the individuals inside of the company that makes everything work, more so than us marketing for business. But it's definitely a family environment. Come join us, leave a comment, reach out. I love to reach out to other entrepreneurs and learn some more things. So.
Awesome. Andre, thank you so much for being on this freestyle jam with us and sharing your valuable lifetime that you've have the gift to be able to share. And thank you so much. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Seriously.
Cool. Keep in touch with me. I can't wait to hear about the progress and everything. And I'm right there for you anytime. You just hit me up.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Have a beautiful day. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Feel free to comment down below with any questions you have, and feel free to go over and give Andre a follow. I know that he'd love to have you following his company. And remember, one life, one place, make it great. It's here now. Let's go.
Yes.
All right, Andre. Thanks, brother. See you, man.
All right, now.
See ya. Bye.